Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the My Team series that we're doing on Countdown to Sun and Moon. Reception was okay to the first one, so you know what? Fine, let's go ahead and do just a bunch of these. I'm gonna try my best to get one out every day. No guarantees, because knowing me, there's a good chance I might done goof it. But that's okay, because who doesn't done goof everything up all the time? Probably most people, but that's besides the point. Either way, I want to thank you guys for watching the first one. If you haven't watched the first one, I would go back and check that out. It's not exactly necessary for this one, but it'll explain why I have some Kanto Pokemon in the Jotho thing. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this thingy. First up on the list, we've got Scyther slash Scizor, and now I bet you're wondering, hey, why do you got these two Mons? I mean, besides the fact that they're in the same evolutionary line. Usually it would be entirely dependent on whether or not I just happen to have a Scyther or happen to have a Scizor at the time. Because I've actually trained both. Like, I've trained Scyther just as Scyther, and I've trained Scizor if I happen to have a Metal Coat and someone else to trade with at the time. Usually it's kind of iffy. I don't know, it's like a 50% chance that I'm using one or the other, but either way I do appreciate both of them for different reasons. I appreciate how much stronger Scizor is, but at the same time I really liked Scyther's design, so I was totally okay with just having Scyther. More often than not I would actually just use him as a false swiper, but he still contributed to the team quite a bit, so I felt like he earned his place here on my Jotho team. And on top of that, I never really used a Mega Scizor competitively, but I love the logic of Blade, Scissors, Chainsaw. Alright, now Magneton was kind of a weird one on the list, and now let me explain why that is. So, originally it was one of those things where I was trying to skip out on using Ampharos, but I ended up going with Ampharos, and I was like, you know, I really don't know what else to put on my team. I mean, there are some bug types, but I'm tired of having this fire type and rock weakness on my team all the time. So I actually looked at Magnemite, and believe it or not, using Magnemite, or Magneton rather than Magnezone, which I just never had the chance to use Magnezone, having a Magneton on the team was really nice. It was actually one of the better experiences I've had with electric types. Typically I try to avoid using electric types, and I don't really know why that is. I guess I'm not that big a fan of paralysis, because I feel like there are better statuses that you can inflict on people. But Magneton gets, what was it, a Zap Cannon, Tri-Attack. Tri-Attack is probably one of my favorite moves to use, just because it's so varied, and whether you can burn, paralyze, or just freeze someone totally out of the blue. Next up we have Quagsire, and I don't know how much of a surprise this might come to you guys, but I've really only used one of these in competitive. I never actually trained one. I just kind of inherited Wooper. So he's not exactly my favorite Pokemon, but I've grown to appreciate him, and in fact appreciate him enough to put him on my Jotho teams. I mean, he's great up until he gets hit by a grass move, and then he's just gone. I mean, absolutely gone. Dealing with Grass Knot is quite a problem with him. He's got some pretty okay HP. He's really bulky. If you leftovers him, he can actually be pretty decent. The only thing that you really have to worry about is getting hit by that Toxic, though. Toxic is always really annoying to deal with if you're trying to run leftovers on anything, really. But overall, Quagsire is a pretty solid Pokemon. I can't really think of any other water types besides the one that I can't think of, the one that I just put up on screen. That one's pretty good, but oh, Lantern, that's his name. Alright, up next we got Vileplume, which is more or less my replacement for my Venusaur that I would usually have in Kanto. I like to have at least one grass statuser on my team at any given time. Sometimes I like to have multiple ones. But Vileplume is also known as Bobobo on my team. He is probably one of my more memorable ones because I kind of felt like he was a better Paris in a way. Like, he could do a lot of things a Paris could. Unfortunately, he couldn't learn Spore. That would be... oh boy, that would have been great. But, no, and I've always appreciated Vileplume more than Blossom, and that's more just because it looks more like Oddish than the other one does. And I really don't like it when evolutions change so drastically that they look nothing like the original. So, anywho... with that out of the way, we only have 2 more Pokemon left. What are we gonna do? There's just so few of them. But, anywho, you guys should all train a Vileplume. They're great and totally underestimated. Alright, second to last we got Ampharos, and that's more because I just adore Ampharos. Ampharos has been one of my favorite Pokemon in general to train, and that's mostly because I didn't expect it to be this good. It was one of those things where I had, and it wasn't until Pokemon Black and White that I actually started training them in Gold and Silver, because there was that whole field of Mareep in Black and White 2, and I was like, oh, these things are great. So I started using them in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I had one in particular, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but that thing was a monster. It took on most of Red's team on its own. And what had happened is after that, I traded it over to X and Y where we could kind of check out their stats. Yeah, she had full IVs as a wild caught Pokemon, which last I checked was impossible. But either way, that was amazing, and I don't think I will ever get another Pokemon that has been as useful as Ampharos. Oh, her name was Annabelle. I just remembered. But yeah, all y'all train one of them. They're so good. Alright, last one up is Typhlosion. Now, after I'm done with this one, we're totally done, and then I don't have to do this anymore because I'm very tired and I just woke up, and Hannah's looking at me with a weird face because I'm recording things. How dare you! But either way, Typhlosion is best. For Alligator can just go die in a fire or something. No? No, for Alligator can't go die in a fire? She just shook her head no at me. But I'd say 9 times out of 10 I would probably pick Typhlosion over Feraligatr, even though Feraligatr is a pretty solid Pokemon. I don't really have a reason other than really liking Typhlosion's design. I mean, its moveset is okay, its stats are okay. It really doesn't have a whole lot going for it, or at least off the top of my head it doesn't. Even though it has that exclusive move or whatever, Flame Wheel, for 5 seconds, because then Ponyta got it. Even Flame Wheel wasn't that big a deal. So, overall, Typhlosion is just, I like his design, and I don't really have another reason to have him. Anywho, guys, that's pretty much everything. So, Jotho's done with. We're moving to Hoenn tomorrow. Oh, editing. I'm not looking forward to that, but we gotta do it, because otherwise the video isn't finished, and then when the video isn't finished, people don't watch it, probably because the video doesn't exist. I'm just gonna ramble on here for a little bit. Anywho, guys, I'm gonna go eat some pizza rolls. You guys try not to die. Hannah, quit giving me looks. She is laughing at me. She is mocking me. She is saying all kinds of awful things about Toasty in particular. Because, like, what was something awful you have to say about Toasty?
I have nothing awful to say. He is a complete liar, and also Feraligatr is the best, and his name is Pineapples.
His name is Pineapples. But no, yeah, Toasty, you should really look into all the awful things she's saying about you. Bye.